make sure we get live before we start. All right. Hey, this is Blast on Mike, and today I have Jillian and Lisa with me, and they're going to talk about their new TV show that's being shot here in Kentucky. And Ben couldn't be here, and also Caleb Perkins couldn't be here. All of you know I know Caleb Perkins very well, and she couldn't be here either. We're supposed to have some more people coming in, right, Jillian, before the night's over?
That's the hope.
All righty. So, Jillian, could you tell me a little bit about what this TV show is about and where you all are doing it? Because you're still shooting it, right?
Yes. So the premise of the show is small town Midas Cove and kind of an Ozark feel where there is the main character who's played by Ben Hicks. And Lisa, please jump in. I know you've been on this project a little bit longer than I have. Who his wife is killed in a car wreck, and so there's a lot of twists and turns, and there's one kind of crime family that runs everything. They've got the police on their side and a lot of money. There's my character whose name is Tequila, and I'm kind of the group leader of a motorcycle gang.
Oh,
There is there are drugs. There's kind of a drug lord. Lisa, I know I'm probably forgetting.
Yeah, so there's just about every kind of piece that you could pull from other shows to make them interesting. I feel like Midas Cove has that, such as you've got the corruption and the mob aspect, but you also have that small town feel. You have a suspense thriller feel at the same time, and also a bit of a maybe dramatic romance.
well, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, how far are you all along with this show?
That's a good question.
I want to say we are finishing up a full second episode at this point. We may have even started filming third, and I might not have been a part of that specific set of filming.
Mm-hmm.
And
so,
yes,
so the pilot is the
the
pilot already done then?
I think we're finishing it this.
I think it's
weekend.
being finished up this weekend actually, with some of the
Oh,
scenes that are being
great.
shot. So it's been a lot of. I'm sorry.
In other movies before and TV shows?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I personally
give me a little background on yourself.
Okay, I'll go first. I am an attorney by day, and I work for state government. And then I got involved with acting, doing some background roles on some films that are still in post-production, and then started acting with a murder mystery troupe. That's actually where I met Lisa. And then from that, made connections with people, and so I've gotten involved in a couple other projects. This is the only one that I'm acting in at this point. So,
okay.
So it's been really neat
you,
kind of
Lisa?
seeing things.
Give me 1 second, if you would, to shut the window. My dog is barking.
Sure. Well, it's pretty neat that you're an attorney by day and an actress by night.
Yeah, it's my Instagram is my little tagline is lawyer by day, actress by night, amazing always.
You are an amazing actress too.
Thank you. Ditto.
That's awesome.
So, for myself and my projects that I have done more live theater than anything else. I've been involved with the Murder and Merriment group for about over 6 years now, which has given me a lot of improv type of training, and also made me more confident in myself. So, like I said, I've got tons of theater under my belt, maybe 15 plus years of experience with that. However, here's the kicker. I have rarely been given lead roles. And so I am extremely grateful to be given this film project. I also have not really been in film. I've been in one commercial and a short film, and then this is it. This is the big one. So I'm surprised that Ben was like, yes, you need to be Tina Summers. And I was like, so it was kind of my big break in a way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited to see it when it's done, because Ben and me have talked a few times, on Facebook, and I always think it's awesome when, I'm from Kentucky. I live in Kentucky too, so you know, I followed what Kayla's done, and Tucky Williams, and a lot of people like that, that I've interviewed in the past, and I think it's just amazing that Kentucky's starting to do more filming. A lot of films have been done here. It's just people didn't know it.
Oh, absolutely. And Katie Ward can actually speak on several of those because she's been a part of them.
Oh, thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Hey, how are you doing, Katie?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
We were just talking about the show you are doing, and I was asking a little bit background on yourself. So if you have any other input on the show, and if you could tell me a little bit of your background, that'd be great.
I can. Sorry, I was late. So do you need to know more of the log line or the premise? I'm one of the co-directors, as well as I've been on the project since the very beginning, long before kind of people were brought on, and it's really good to see these two women here representing this, which is amazing, as well. So I've been in film for a long time, but this is a great project too. So I can talk to you a little bit about that as well, because I knew Ben couldn't be on tonight, so he asked me if I could.
That's great. I mean, what can you add to the conversation about the project?
Yeah. So the actual series itself is really interesting because it's so diverse. So it goes into the actual storyline of Jake Carter, who Ben Hicks plays, and he's written around, but there's multiple seasons. We're currently shooting in season 1 right now, but it talks really about a very traumatized situation, a man who loses everything, who is married to his wife Madison. They go through this lovely relationship in this town of Midas Cove, which is set in Kentucky. It's set in kind of different parts, but really more of that rural Appalachia feel. And Midas Cove is this small little town surrounded by water, just this idyllic little town you would go to. And then all of a sudden, there is this tragedy that happens between Jake and Madison. And it changes this man into maybe what you would think of kind of horror, but more or less of a grieving soul who has been traumatized. And it questions this inside feeling of, is someone going to actually go with vigilante justice? And it's a question of, what would you do? What would you do if something traumatic happens, if you're in a situation where all of a sudden you can't go to the police, you can't go to this corrupt town, right? Which is very similar to some things that we deal with. And all of a sudden, what are you going to do if you're put in this situation? If something happens to you and you can't speak out, you don't have the funding to help you, you can't go to it. Imagine the show Justified plus Ozark, right? This is what Midas is about, right? So it makes a little more sense now. So then you have all of these things brought in, and are you capable? Are you going to be able to become someone you're not? So this character becomes somebody he normally would not be, a kind, gentle soul that then takes revenge and vigilante justice into his own hands upon the people who have wronged him. So it's a story of that, involving Jillian's character, who is a Really interesting, diverse characters. You see, she's very beautiful. She's sitting there as Lisa is too, but Lisa is more of a, Tina Summers, who's someone who's very sweet, that he brings in and draws in, who's been wronged by this awful family who kind of controls the town, right? So, and she joins up with Jake's army. So he starts to build an army of people around him. And then we've got the cartel, and then we've got the bikers, and then there's a little bit of drugs sprinkled about. So it's similar, but it's also moments of kindness and moments of sweet things. So and the story of him just really wanting to do all of this to really anyone who may have hurt him. So there's friends and allies, and a little bit of comedy, a little bit of sadness along the way, and definitely beautiful storylines that are there in terms of the acting. So it's great.
I agree.
How many episodes is there going to be?
Currently we're in season 1 right now. We have already wrapped on, well, we will be this weekend finishing up 2 episodes. So we've done probably we're going to go with, at least for season 1, 5 episodes, runtime about 44 minutes each, around that approximation, with sound and crawl and all of that, with credits. And then season 2 is expanding. The production value is amazing. We're shooting at private airports, we're shooting at $1 million homes, we're shooting down at the lake and on, three level, like, boats. So it's really cool. We've had some amazing sponsorships that have come in. So this is a really different kind of, what started as an indie project and has grown into the community really giving back and being a part of this. The actors, crew are amazing. Yeah.
So are you looking to maybe sell this to like Netflix or Hulu or something like that?
So I work on distribution side. So those kinds of things have been super interesting, and being on film and different things. And a lot of our people come from a really amazing theater background, or have either been on shows that are streaming now too. So we have people from multiple states, but mainly Kentucky, a lot surrounding. But we have people that are, so it's really cool, the diversity. You mentioned Kayla. I just finished directing a film with Kayla in it. So there's a lot of things that, are really strong. And we have some really, really great people, but our crew is actually great too. People that have worked all throughout the film industry and all throughout different varieties of things too. So I'm very, very proud of the crew. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to go to distribution to go ahead and hit that too.
So let me ask you this. I want to ask all three of you this, okay? How do you think the writer's strike is going to impact movie going forward in TV shows?
It'll be like every season 5 of every show. Terrible. Makes you want to stop watching.
It depends.
When every character becomes vastly overdone and every storyline is just stretched beyond its limits. That is the best way to explain it, Lisa.
I remember when they struck last time, and we actually had some very clever and creative writing that came out of the people that they did bring in. So I'm not sure how I know that it won't affect us because we're going. Our writer is not on strike.
We're lucky because we're not going with a SAG production, so we are able to film. So because we don't have that right now, we're still able to film. It is hitting us hard in terms of my contacts and distribution and things like that. But Kentucky is still filming SAG projects as well. There are still multiple projects that are going on currently here, Lexington, Louisville, outside of Louisville, and down in the Western Kentucky part. But those have already made their deal with their writers before the strike happened. So they were already on paper, right? So, but it's weird because I want to turn on and watch like my programs, and I'm like, well, there's no Saturday Night Live, or there's no Big Brother. Like those things are hard. I do think writers should be able to get pay. Trust me, in helping Ben
Oh yeah.
figure out scenes. It's hard. He calls everybody to go, how should I figure this out? And it doesn't really work. so writers and the actors stick with the writers. Yeah.
I always look at, is my show canceled? That's a slate that's on here.
Yeah.
And every damn day they're just like, I really like Gotham Knights a lot, and there's 2 episodes and I won't watch it because I know it's going to open end, and I don't want to see an open ended show, So like Gotham Knights is canceled, and then Warner Brothers canceled 5 shows. Disney just canceled The Acolyte. I mean, it's like how's fall going to be? People who watch like Chicago Fire and PD and all those shows.
They're not even
Magnum PI just got canceled.
Right. Like the Chicago PD Fire, all of that, you can tell because they usually will start filming now during summer and they'll put out casting calls. But they also I just tell people fall is going to be different because if you're expecting your show to come back, like, and you're waiting, no, it's weird. It's
going to be a lot of reality. I think it's going to be a lot of reality coming out in the fall. A lot of reality shows.
Well, it's
because they don't have to have writers.
It's so frustrating. Well, I think a lot of those are scripted, depending on the show. But I was just going to say it's so frustrating because
she was just on Pawn Stars, and like Pawn Stars Do America. They came to Louisville, and Jillian just did that show. So you can ask her how that experience was.
It's very, very scripted.
Maybe the independent community can help because, like during the pandemic, if you went in Walmart, all the movies that were at Walmart were independent movies.
Right.
Independent cinema is what got everybody through the pandemic. If you wanted physical copies of something, because I mean, you go on Walmart, and then I think I could be wrong. Now you can correct me, but I think Invisible Man was the last movie seen before the pandemic. And that's when the theaters shut down.
I filmed during
nothing.
Independence will carry, and that's what I want people to know is that indie films like this, indie projects like this, and even some of the lower end films that you'll see, the budgets are changing. People don't realize that it's not just Marvel and Avengers. It's not just this big world of the differentiating between up here mega movies down to what are really good. So if people understand that you don't have to have these crazy huge budgets to make a really good thing, it really comes down to your crew. It comes down to solid writing, and it comes down to amazing talent, which we have such good talent, and that's what sells it. And I'm so proud of it. And it's really female driven, which is really amazing. There's some female villains.
That's awesome.
In this, and that's what's cool. And I think that draws in a different twist to it, is the female power figures and the female villains. We have a female drug lordess. We have a female, goodness gracious, cartel leader. We have a female, well, in a way, but we have I'm trying not to say too much, but we have a female MC for the motorcycle club. So there's a sex appeal, but there's a power appeal that comes across that is just so good. And you see women take their power back. So there's a really neat focus on that, which is cool because it stays very current day.
But Kate, you see that all the time in TV shows now. Like Mandalorian was took over by Katie Sokoloff. I mean, she saved him and everything. You see that in Rey in Star Wars.
Yep.
You see that almost females are empowered a lot when it comes to a lot of shows now on TV. I mean,
but it's hard sometimes when it's not recognized as much in like in Eastern Kentucky or in that Appalachia field, right? A lot of times it's just kind of they get run over and that's the thing. And I think
I
there's,
agree.
you know, so I like seeing that aspect of it, of something that's a little bit different. And that's not all that there is. There are still some
No,
men that
but
come.
to add on to that,
Yeah. Oh, no,
Katie,
you can add.
in the case of Tina Summers,
Right.
she's so real. She's so very in the moment and lifelike. You could pick her up and pull her off the street, and that's how real she is. And so by her taking her
That's
power
awesome.
back, it causes an immense twist that I think the audience will enjoy.
Right. That
That's
there's
the reason,
damage
I was
and
talking
brokenness.
before Kate came in. Before Kate come in, I was talking about that new Chucky Williams. She's done Girl Scene, and she's done all these
Yeah, I know
women
who Chucky
empowered
is.
type
Yeah.
movies. I mean, she's one of the most amazing people I know. I mean, me and her have done interview after interview, and they've turned out amazing. And it's because she's an amazing woman doing amazing things. I mean, so I hear both sides of it. When you talk to your friends or you talk to people in general, they're like, oh, why is this so many women are empowered? Or why is there so much gay stuff on TV? Well, that's the world we live in. I mean,
It's reality. Yeah.
women have the rights. Women have the rights
Thank
to do
you.
things, and gay people have the right to do things too. And it's like, I mean, like even in Gotham, like we're talking about Gotham, there's a guy on there that's a girl now, or no, a girl that's a guy now. He's one of the main characters, or oh, what's the girl's name? She's a girl, but she's a guy now in that Netflix show about the superheroes.
I have no idea.
I know
Academy,
exactly.
something Academy.
You're talking about Ellen turned Elliot Page.
Elliot turned Elliot Page.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, on
And
the
it's
okay.
the Umbrella Academy.
Thank you. Yes.
Also,
Yeah.
Juno, she was in a few other things.
She's been.
But everybody makes a big ass deal about it, and I'm like, we live in 2023. We don't live in 1982.
Right.
And then it's funny though because like you said, people are why are there so many women, so many empowering characters? I don't remember ever hearing of that when it was almost exclusively males who were holding those same roles. Why is it all men?
Yeah.
Nobody says that, and so it's
That's
just
the
because
thing. Nobody pitched that. Nobody could pitch it. So when I talk about that and I have to pitch it on a different scale, people are looking for that. They're still looking for female empowerment. They're looking for a variety of, like who's involved in this. And nobody really cared before. 20 years ago when I was doing this, nobody cared if it was all men on board. Nobody, no, that wasn't a big deal. But unfortunately,
Well, right now
it's different.
Right now, one of the highest paid actresses, well, she is the highest paid actress on TV, is Angela Bassett in 911. The show 911 that's on.
Yep.
She is the highest paid actress and the highest paid black person on TV right now. She gets paid, I think, like $2.5 million an episode. And she deserves it. Angela Bassett is amazing as an actress.
Very good.
She's amazing. And, I'm all for it. I mean, it's nice to see women, finally take some power back. I mean,
I think
if that's the type of show you're doing, I think that's great.
Right. To add into that, I think that we talk about empowerment of women today and how important it is with Tina Summers' character, with who she is. She actually maintains some of the issues that women still have today that we find ourselves unable to maybe recognize or get out of.
You can talk about the abuse if you want to.
So narcissism, abuse, physical abuse, many things, verbal abuse, mental abuse, all of those things she encounters, and women every day willingly put themselves through that sometimes, and sometimes not willingly. And I don't think that the willing people actually recognize or know that they can be different. They can take They don't have to take that.
Well, it's an extension from the
to watch
Me
her
Too
switch,
movement, which I think
right,
was
and empower. And so when we talk about empowerment, it's not just because there's a female strong driven cast. It's the character portrayal and how real it becomes. So those are the things that are really beautiful and honest about this show and cast.
I want to add on to that. I'm sorry to interrupt, Jillian, but to add on to that and bring in Ben's character. All right, Jake Carter does the exact same thing of bringing empowerment to a man who in society in America today does not have it.
Right.
And I think that that adds to also the empowerment of underdogs in general.
Yes. I think so the show really has a phrase of "we are broken."
Yes.
The town Midas Cove being "we are broken." So the characters are either, you've got the villains and you've kind of got the town members of being, we are broken. And so it's really, there's such a unique, beautiful storyline of Midas Cove being the town of the people who are broken. And are they either going to join in this fight or are they not? But it can be very emotional and very sad and storylines, beautifully spoken. Lisa, that was gorgeous as the way you explained that.
But that's the world we live in now. I mean, all we hear about is guns being, people shooting people. All we hear about suicide. All we hear about is all these things because we all made it this year through a pandemic that we had no clue what the hell was going on,
right.
But we made it out, and
so let's make a
me as being a person who for the whole time did Facebook Lives and kept people entertained because they had no friends that could come over. They had no family to come over. And I was the only person that was speaking to them at times. And it was hard on me, I mean, I was going through the fact that I wasn't going to take the shot. And I was very vocal about it. I want to take the shot. And people were like, well, we can't associate with you. And then, the whole, I'm a Republican now, not a Democrat. I can't talk to you. So it was a lot of people that as human beings, we weren't being human. We were being like, oh, well, you if you're like that, then I don't want to be around you. And how can you be Republican and believe in gay rights? And
right.
It's so we live in such a world now that it's like I don't think anybody cares about anybody really. And to see that warmth of somebody wanting to help somebody, like me and my wife DoorDash and Lexington, like I told you, and we've seen homeless people right there in front of the main Nicholasville Road, right in front of the Burger King and the Greyhound station.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and gave them pizza. We went and bought, we had pizza we gave them, and yeah, maybe they wanted that, maybe they wanted money, but they felt good. It felt good to help somebody. You know what I mean? Not be like, oh, well, I'm not going to do nothing because this guy's probably trying to get money for drugs or whatever. It's not my choice to say that about people, and I've interviewed a lot of people. I've interviewed Elvis's girlfriends before, and, and they tell me stories and people are like, that's bullshit. And I'm like, hey, in 72, when she was with Elvis, I was just being born. How the hell did I know if she's telling the truth or not? That's her story.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I really physically think I'm going to enjoy what you're doing. I mean, because I feel like we need strong, me and Chucky talked about this years ago, that we need more strong women shows, that show women as being strong and being like Katie Sackhoff and, The Mandalorian. She saved Mandalorian's ass I don't know how many times in the last season. And, some people say, oh, well, that means the Mandalorian is weak, but I don't see it as that. I see it as, the armor in that show is very, very strong. So it's one of those things. I mean, some people are going to be like, oh, this is just women driven. And some people are going to go, oh, I really like this. But you know what? And this, Kate, because you said you've done a lot of work in movies.
And the women are not just all nice either. I mean, Jillian's character, I can tell you.
How about Myra?
And Myra's character, Myra Zimmerman, Myra Zimmerman is amazing, but she's anything but nice. She is a complete, she stirs everything, and she runs the entire town.
That's true.
She's
And
cold.
like I said, we have a drug.
That's awesome.
We have a drug lord out of Europe who is supplying things, and she's a woman. You know, we were like, instead of making that a man, but she's got a team around her. But no, she's fabulous at what she does.
And
so, but you know, we still have the killers, we still have the action, we still have the slash and that, but there's just a deeper line to it. It's not just, hey, let's kill this person or let's do this. No, there's always a reason behind it.
There's always reason and meaning. And Mike, to speak on what you were personally stating about your beliefs,
I agree.
I actually think that you will find Jake Carter's character, Jake Carter, to be very easy to understand and to get. I think just because of how you stated like your own beliefs just now. Again, it's not just for the females, because you will find a character that you will enjoy, male or female, and be able to connect with. That's the word I was trying to get to. Connect. I do believe you will find connection with Jake Carter. Mike.
You know, that's the thing. You know, like I was talking about, I'm excited about Scarefest because, you know, The Walking Dead's coming up. You know, Walking Dead characters are going to be there. Like Greg Nicotero is going to be there and stuff. But I have to say, I stopped watching The Walking Dead after the season because I just couldn't get with it. I couldn't get with it. I saw the last episode because I wanted to see the last episode.
I still haven't seen the last episode.
Season. When that show first came on, we'd watch it religiously as a family. Everybody had to be quiet. It had to be quiet time. We had to watch it. But then it just got to a point where I was like, this has got to be over. But now I'm watching Dead City, and I watched the first episode of Dead City, and I really like it. And I like the way that these different characters are going in different directions. But that's the one thing about movies, TV, whatever it is. It has to resonate with you somehow. You know, like Star Wars. You know, I'm an old guy, so you know, Star Wars is probably my favorite movie of all time, along with They Live and Night of the Comet. But in my top 5 list, and y'all are going to think this is funny, in my top 5 list is The Notebook. I absolutely love that movie, The Notebook. My wife's like,
we
you gotta
have
watch
to give
this
it up
movie.
to Nicholas Sparks, who originally wrote that story.
Right.
He is the most fantastic writer to get to your feels. Again, you will relate.
You will relate. I think you're going to like this, Mike. I agree, Lisa. And Jillian's shaking her head.
You see it, don't you? Yeah, because we know Jake.
Oh, yeah.
And Jake has a dual side to him. So
we all do.
Yeah. Every character surprise you, and it's interesting the way this does, and I'm excited. I'm very excited about.
So, if there's a chance you need somebody old and like
are you available
fat
Saturday?
that you need to kill.
Are you available?
If you need to kill somebody, let me know.
Mike, I'm offering you
not this Saturday.
Are you available Saturday?
I couldn't do anything this Saturday because it's 4th of July weekend.
I need you for 4 hours. You can film with Lisa. You can meet Jillian. I mean, seriously.
You want to go to Nicholasville Saturday?
Midway.
To be from this TV show.
Yeah, we'll bring you on. I would love it. It's a speaking role. It's really easy, and I mean, you get to do both. You get
Mike, speaking role.
A jerk. It's a speaking role. You get to be a jerk, and you get to be compassionate.
What time is this?
Saturday afternoon, like 3 to 7. I'll get you out of there.
Probably. I couldn't do it. Could I do it in another day?
I'll put you.
If it was any other weekend, I could do it.
Look, it's a series. We'll put you in.
We'll get you in. I promise you. For all you do, and just so you can come see, you can meet the crew, you can meet like everybody, because they're fantastic. They really are. Austin, Oakley, Eli.
Oh, the
Dylan.
crew.
Like,
The crew's
seriously, they're
The
so
crew
fantastic.
good.
speaks to my heart.
And
They are
they
so
just,
wonderful.
they're amazing. They're amazing. So you
Yeah.
want to be with these people and you want to be around them. And I'm serious. So, and who doesn't want to see Jillian in some of those outfits? Just
I
saying.
do.
But I know, no, it's amazing. We want to see
So-
this beautiful, like, attorney. She's our production attorney, by the way. I don't know if she
Yeah,
told
she's
you
an
that.
attorney, yeah.
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 So yeah, well, no, we'll put you on. We'll do it. Let's go. Just connect
So
with me.
I can probably do it any other weekend but this weekend because it's 4th of July.
Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll get you on there.
You tell me because we go to Lexington all the time, like I said, to DoorDash.
Okay. No.
And we stay in Lexington.
Yeah.
We stay in Lexington quite a bit.
Well,
So let me ask you this: Are you all going to be promoting this at Scarefest at all this year? Are any of you going to be at Scarefest?
Well, we had an entire booth last year. We were there. We had everything. So you do know that one of the biggest promoters of our show has been Patty Starr.
Patty Starr.
Oh, Patty! I love Patty. She's awesome.
She also will have a small part in our show. She's gonna come. I can't say a whole lot. I'm just gonna say she's involved. But we love Patty.
Oh, that's cool.
Very sweet. Mm-hmm.
Her and Kayla were sitting with each other this last year.
That was the booth that we had.
Yeah, Kayla Perkins was sitting with her this last year, and
yeah, that was.
I saw Kayla and Patty together.
That was the booth that we had. So Kayla was promoting Midas Cove, and Patty was doing that as well. And so we had our crew there and all of our stuff. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I go every year, so I'll be there again this year. Okay. So this last year, man, it was so hot in there. It was horrendous.
It's interesting.
That place was just so hot, but you know.
Well, I mean, if you come on and you do
it's amazing what you all are doing, you know, and because he wasn't able to be here today, but just tell him I think what you all are doing is amazing, and if I can be a part of it, I'd love to.
He's with his son, so yeah,
you know,
I'll let him know.
I'm one of those kind of guys that want to be killed like brutally on a TV or a movie, you know.
Okay.
I mean, can I do it? Oh, darn it.
We could. I think we can arrange that. We have a great special effects artist. We have wonderful makeup.
I'm sorry, you broke up. What did you say?
Oh, I said we have a great special effects artist. We have an amazing makeup team. We have really good behind the scenes, our props, everything. So if you want to die, we can make that happen.
It's fun.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Because, you know, I've interviewed all kinds of Walking Dead people, man, and their favorite thing is to die on that show, you know?
I was on the Walking
Dead, like,
and it's not. They do a great job. I did season 2, and we just were stuck down there, and they just reused us over and over again. It was before it got really big. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, what else can you all tell me? And when will the first episode be released? The pilot episode. When will we be able to see it?
Technically, at this point, we are trying to put together one for investors to go ahead and put out episode 1. And we're talking about how we're going to release that at all to anyone, just to see like what audience feel would be. So because you have like a podcast and you have other things, we might be able to let you see that as well once we get everything edited on it. We also may just put together a trailer of episodes 1 and 2 and get those put together just for kind of a teaser content to allow some people to kind of see a feel for it. So if so, we'll go ahead and send that to you too, just because, you know, you have an audience that you might be able to share that with. That would be awesome.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be good. And we'd really appreciate your feedback since you know so much about it and you've met actors and people too. And we appreciate you letting us do this and come on and be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know, if you all want to come back and you want to do it again, or you know, if we could do it live, you know, on the set or wherever you want to do.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Yeah,
let's
it'd be
bring in
great.
some of the guys. We'll do an update on how it's going.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
can definitely do an update, or we could bring you on the show, let you come to set, and then you could come back and definitely talk about your experience. I think that would be a
Well, that's
really
a good
fun.
idea too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Talk about your experience. Actually get to talk with Ben as well. I know you've been talking with him, but he is with his son right now. So,
Yeah.
and that would be a good thing, right? To be able to discuss it, talk about it. And I think that would be a cool aspect too. So you could let everybody know what it's really like. So that's a cool offer. And maybe who you
Yeah,
would film.
I've really been getting into like the Facebook Reels and the TikTok, small TikTok
Yeah,
videos.
we have an
I've
awesome
really been getting into that a
social
lot.
media producer. She's fantastic. We could get Karen to do some stuff with you. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, on Facebook Reels, I just got I got in the top, what was it, Hope? The top 2 percentile not this last week, but the week before. It gave me a creator thing because I was in the top 2 percentile
Like a
of
digital creator.
Facebook creators. Yeah,
That's
I was
fantastic.
That's really
like,
good.
really? That was amazing, So, it really feels good after doing Facebook Live since 2007,
That's
17,
awesome.
I mean. But it's been great talking to you all. Thank you so much. And,
Thank you.
let's talk soon. You all add me on
Absolutely.
Facebook and all that. And
Absolutely.
whatever we can do together in the future, let me know, okay?
I would love that. And the crew, they would. They're the reason this is good at all. So thank you.
Teamwork.
Please go let people know.
Yeah.
Let people know if they want to be a part of your, the other episodes coming up, how they can get a hold of somebody to be a part of that. Just let people know real quick.
We'll have background castings, and sometimes we have some speaking roles that we can offer people just briefly that are wonderful. But we're always looking for faces and talent, and the fact that we have season 2 coming up too as well. So there's always things to look for.
And we have a Facebook page.
Mhm.
We have other media
Instagram
things.
page and TikTok, but that's really Facebook and TikTok is really where people
Midas Cove is the name.
Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, watching It's the Game.
Well, it was wonderful talking to all 3 of you ladies, and let's talk again soon, okay?
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.